You are now listening to Marie Messages Podcast, a podcast where we break down the realities of self-care, coming with nothing but honesty and transparency. Now your host, J. Marie. Hey, what's going on? It is your girl, J. Marie, back with another episode of Marie Messages Podcast. I am excited yet again. I know you guys are so used to me saying I'm excited, but my guests get me really excited because I really appreciate the support and participation in my first season of Marie Messages Podcast. But I have a longtime friend of mine. She goes by the name Coach Anita. She is on the line and she is on to discuss temple work. We're going to talk about self-care. Self-care includes the body, and I had to get a certified health coach on the line who I personally have known since high school, this beautiful coach Anita. So I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself for the listeners.
Hi, everybody. I'm Coach Anita Monique. I love being a health coach because I love allowing people to take back control of their health. It is the most rewarding thing ever. Never, ever thought I would be doing this, but I totally love it. Like, it is what makes me tick now. And I get like a real thrill with showing people like, hey, you can do this and you can change your health. So I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later, but that is me. That is my passion. So I'm happy to be here and talk with you.
That's great. That's great. So what made you get started with this? Like what prompted you to want to be a health coach, to really dive into it and, make your life tick, as you say?
Right. So honestly, it is a personal journey. So it is a personal thing. So in 2016, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And to anyone else that hears the word multiple sclerosis or any disease, they are going blindly with what the doctors would tell them. I, however, did not do that. So that same year, I lost my uncle to diabetes. So when a doctor told me, hey, it looks like multiple sclerosis, first of all, I was devastated because I was 30 years old. Like I just turned 30, like literally just turned 30 years old. And he said multiple sclerosis, and all I can see was pictures of older women in wheelchairs. And I just was like, I have so much life to live. This cannot be me. So I listened to what the doctor said, got the diagnosis, all that stuff. Immediately went home and Googled people who reverse multiple sclerosis naturally, because I knew in the back of my mind that that is what I was going to do. Watching my uncle lose his life to diabetes, it did something to me. It put something in my heart that's like, what is this medicine doing? Like, is this medicine really changing what's going on, or is it being a band-aid? And I don't do band-aids. Like if something's going on wrong, like something as serious as multiple sclerosis, let me know. I'm a Jersey girl, right? I'm tough. So I'm like,
yes.
If it's something that needs to be fixed, doctor, let's talk about it so we can fix it. But I was not willing to take something to treat the symptom where the root cause was still going on. So that's what kind of led me to what becoming a health coach, because I wanted to first heal myself. So I learned to heal myself. And then when I was in the classes, I was like, wait, this information is too good. I got to share this. And that's what made me want to do it. It's things that I honestly feel is hidden, and definitely hidden from the African American community. We didn't know this stuff. Like I had no idea. And we went to Jocelyn, the best schools. Like we paid a lot of money for the schools we went to. So it's like,
tell me about it.
Hold up. Like y'all could have taught me that instead of teaching me what X, Y, or Z was over and over again. So yeah, when I learned it, it was just, it's a passion. It's the passion in me.
That's awesome. That's amazing. That takes true guts and discipline. And wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. For the listeners, for those listeners that who may not know what MS is, do you mind explaining what it is?
Yeah, basically, multiple sclerosis is a disease of the brain and spinal cord. So it mostly affects like people walking, being able to walk, people cognitive ability to think. Sometimes people lose the ability to see. It really affects your nervous system. So your nervous system is your whole body. Like it's
Yeah.
everything we do, and we don't even think about that. So unfortunately, if you're diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, it's inflaming your nervous system, and that's unpredictable, right? So one day your hand could be tingling, the next day you may not be able to walk. So it is a very unpredictable disease, and it has to be addressed properly. I just address it a little differently, but it definitely has to be addressed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Now, if you because you are a health coach and obviously you
Mm-hmm.
have the knowledge now, not just about MS, but other diseases out there, autoimmune diseases. I know for me, like I have an autoimmune disease that they say is not curable. It's called HS. I believe it's pronounced hidradenitis suppurativa. I may be pronouncing it incorrectly, so do not listen. Do not be going on Google now talking about some Google. What does HS stand for? And you understand, and you say, wait a minute, J. Marie said that all the way wrong. Yeah, you're right. I said it wrong, probably. I probably mispronounced it. However, that is something that I've been diagnosed with for quite some time. It's been a few years, and every doctor, I mean, every doctor I've seen, it says there's no cure for it, there's no way to treat it. And the more research I do on it, and even follow people on YouTube and things like that that have it, they express that same thing. Like there's really no meds. They said you can do antibiotics. I don't want to do antibiotics forever. Do antibiotic washes. So what HS is you get these boils. And boils, they show up on the surface of your skin and they can get as large as baseballs. That's how large they can get. Luckily, I haven't gotten them that large, but I have gotten them pretty large and they are extremely painful and they're full of like pus and mucus. And they typically come in areas that rub together. So like between your arms, between your thighs, in your groin, between your chest. And it's extremely uncomfortable when those moments happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, it's crazy. And what I tend to notice is that it happens when I eat crazy. What I mean, I eat crazy. I mean, I'm just on it. Like I'm eating whatever I want. I'm drinking whatever I want. And I noticed my flare-ups come up even more. But then one of the things that I saw in one of your stories was about the medical medium book. And I started reading it and I started to look into a couple of things. And although HS wasn't listed in the book, it's talking about juicing, celery juicing. So that's been my wave. And I noticed when I celery juice, I don't get flare ups like that. And if I do,
That's
it's
awesome.
so quick. Like it'll be like a day or two and it's gone. Because sometimes I'll have a flare up and it'll last for weeks. And it's so painful, especially where it is. Um, I won't be able to sleep. I can't wear a certain bra or, things like it's just extremely painful. And it makes you uncomfortable. You get a little embarrassed because it's like, I'm top heavy. So I always got the girls is there. Like you can't hide the girls. And, it makes you uncomfortable. And I was trying to find some sense of relief. And I'm going to be honest, like once I saw your story about the book, and because I'm such a geek in that way, if I see anybody post a book on a timeline and I see it, trust and believe it's in my Kindle like within the day. Because I'm always interested to read and learn new things. And that celery juice thing, it helps me. And now I actually like it. Before it was like, ugh. But now it's like it has no, like I'm used to it. My palate is definitely used to it. So from sharing that story, like I just want to know from you, like what's some advice you would give me or any of my other listeners that may be struggling with any other disease that people, as far as doctors are saying, it's not curable.
Right. And Jocelyn, I'm gonna address yours first, right? And then I'm gonna address everything. I
Mm-hmm.
consider myself the autoimmune bully. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease. So MS picked the wrong girl because I'm not going to just listen to what doctors say. I'm going to figure it out myself. And when figuring out myself, I learned all these other things. Now, specific to your HS, right? You said where you find the flares, right? They're in enclosed areas. Those are areas that your body detoxes. That's why we sweat.
Mm-hmm.
So when you eat those things, that's coming out of your body. And that's why you feel those boils. Your body's getting rid of that inflammation or the food that you're eating. So it's like amazing, not amazing that you're going through it, but amazing that that stuff makes sense. You can link that all together. Like, and it's powerful that you were able to do that. You were
Mm-hmm.
able to say, hey, I can feel different when I eat the food, right? And the reason that celery juice made it different, because celery juice went in, it was scrubbing your cells. Like, what is she doing? What's going on here? And was scrubbing them clean, right? And I honestly believe that celery juice, among other vegetables, right? And I'll be very honest. When the creator made us, he knew what he was doing. When he created us, we've been messing up since day one. So there are cures and reverses to illnesses. Man is greedy as hell. So when they figured like, hey, people would pay for this medicine, there's no cure for anything, any disease. Can you think of one? And that's what made me mad. Like, hold up, we pay like, and I hope I'm okay to say this on the show, but there's literally science is giving grown men whole vaginas out here, and you cannot cure the common cold. And that's when my light bulb went off. Like, something's not right. That's not making
Mm-hmm.
sense. Technology is advanced. It is very advanced, because if a grown man can have a vagina, like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not understanding why can't you cure the cold? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? That's very intricate part of the body for you to duplicate that in another person. Um, so I honestly feel like disease is made for profit. Like, there's a name for anything you can think of. And basically what it boils down to, if your body is inflamed, wherever it goes, doctors are saying, oh, that's what you call that. Like, if it was to your knee, they will call it RA or something. If it's because it comes in boils, doctors have a name for every simple disease. I don't look at it like that. I see your body is it's like a dis-ease. It's not nourished the proper way that it's supposed to be. And I tell all my clients all the time, like, you know how they make diets and they have diets? That doesn't work. Like, you and I will not need the same things in order to be healthy. That just doesn't logically make sense.
Hey, you. Yeah, you listening to Marie Messages podcast. Don't forget to click the link and check out the merch store. We got nothing but the best merch out there. Get your hoodies, get your mugs, get your t-shirts, get your sweatshirts. Make sure you check us out. Now back to the show.
Like, I can eat broccoli all day. You can eat broccoli all day, but we both may not be at optimal health, because maybe broccoli doesn't break down in my body the way broccoli breaks down for you. So I always, there's a cure for everything. Well, I don't want to say cure because we're not allowed to say that word, right? But you can treat everything. I'm a big advocate of people getting their power back, learning what works for you. If you go to a doctor and he gives you medicine and you don't feel good, I don't care how many plaques he has on his wall, question that until you feel better. Question that and fight for yourself. Like, fight for you to feel better or have some type of relief. Like, I'm glad I was born in Jersey, because if my doctors say take this and it don't make me feel better, I'm gonna turn right to him and be like, okay, I know you went to that school, but I don't, this isn't working for me. So what else do you have? I don't take answers lightly. So for anybody with autoimmune, I would say to look at your diet. You have to look at your diet and be honest. The majority of food that we have now is processed. It's like made to be instant food because that's what sells. Our body doesn't recognize that. And I tell every one of my clients this, and this is hard to digest because we like to eat if it tastes good. The majority of our supermarket is bad. If you eat from in the aisles, which is like 80% of the supermarket, it's made to sit on a shelf. If it's made to sit on a shelf, it is going to sit in your body. When it's sitting in your body,
Wow.
yeah, it is going to rot and or cause disease or be a reaction to a cause of a disease, you know? So I would recommend people to eat as fresh as possible and to eat things that don't inflame your body. But I'm a big stickler for that. If you're eating what's on the shelf, if it can last in their shelf for 4 years, when we eat it, what do we think it's going to do to us?
Wow. That's a great way to look at it. I never thought of it like that. If it could sit on a shelf, it can sit in your body. Wow. Wow.
We have to, Food and Drug Administration, right? They administer our food. They administer the drugs that we get. They're going to get their coin regardless. And this is what I tell everyone. They're going to get their coin. You're going to pay now at the grocery store when that organic spinach is like $7, or you don't get it. And they'll be like, okay, we'll see you later at the doctor's office. But they're going to get their money regardless. Whoever thought of the system is genius. Like really, honestly, because it's the same system all put together, food and drug.
Wow. 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 Okay. So when you think of dieting, like you touched a little bit on dieting. You don't believe there's no such thing as a diet. Is it just changing the way you eat? Because you hear about these different diets, like and one of the things that I'm starting to see a lot more of is like the Dr. Sebi stuff, which I've always heard about over the years, but it became like, I feel like it became more front street, especially once the pandemic hit. Like now all of a sudden everybody got CMOS. I'm like, wait a minute, like I've been soaking CMOS for years and you know what I mean? And now it's like this is the thing. And then you got to figure out what's the real CMOS, what's the fake one. Because now it's becoming a wave, you know? So I'm just curious to like, what's your perception when it comes to diet? Because I know there's a lot of people, including myself, who go back and forth with my weight, but I do know it's really what I eat. It's just really what I eat. I know I could drop it, but then it's going to be that day when I want that crown apple, that crown apple on ice, and a slice of pizza, because I am a Jersey girl and it's not like a good pizzeria slice, you know, and then it's like you get a taste of that again and you're like, dang, I'm hooked again. You know, it's hard. It's really, really hard. So what advice would you give someone that's trying to, you know, lose weight for health purposes or even cosmetic purposes?
So the first thing, right? I am not, Dr. Sebi is amazing. Like he is amazing, but I'm not vegan. Like I definitely eat meat, but I eat produce too. So I had shrimp today, like sauteed shrimp, and I had some kale. So I do eat meat. I tried to be vegan for like a year and my iron was low. So I was like, okay, I tried it for a year. Maybe I didn't do it right, but it's not for me. It's not. That diet is not for everyone, and I'm still healthy, but I do eat meat, and I know that's a form of process. So all of my meat is like wild caught, or it's organic, and it can get pricey, but it's better for you, right? I would tell everyone if they want to lose weight that you have to get away from the processed food every day. Having a pizza is okay. Like we just have. Food is made to be addictive. It's not your fault. That's the number one thing I want everyone to know. They made it so you can come back and get some more. That is specifically someone's job when they're creating the food to make it addictive for you so you can buy more. Like they really don't care about our bodies. Like they just want to make money. So when we go back into the Oreos, or we go back, it's a science project. They created it that way, and they know they created that way. So I always tell people, like, just to be conscious, like, try to get the processed food out. It's okay if you have pizza, you go out and you have pizza. Don't bring all that stuff in the house, because if you bring a whole pan of pizza in the house, you are going to eat that whole pan of pizza. That's how it has addictive things in it. I don't know what the ingredients are, but it's addictive. And once you start, you can't stop. That they ain't lying about that commercial. Like,
Yeah.
that is really, really, really true. But I would say to eat, I would recommend to eat like a well balanced diet. Like, for me and my clients, I wouldn't tell them to cut out meat. Like, I wouldn't just eat a balanced one. Eat like maybe some seafood, have a sweet potato, have, like, you can make it taste good, but we just can't get all the super processed stuff, like instant the instant sweet potatoes, like, that's already chopped up for us. Absolutely not. When you turn I actually got mad because I went to go pick up some sweet potatoes. I was like, okay, let me save some time. I turned around those ingredients. I was like, absolutely not. There should not be a paragraph for just sweet potatoes. That's all I
Yeah.
want is sweet potatoes. But you turn around that ingredient pack, it was like 10 things in the sweet potato. I was like, no, I'll just cook my own. And
Mhm.
that is really what gets us. So whenever anyone is trying to lose weight, just to eat as buy all your food. You can cook what you want. You just cook it. Don't buy it already made. Just cook it. So anything that you wanted, even if you wanted like a chicken parmesan, just make it at home. Those things, when you're buying it quick, fast, and it's already made, those are the processed foods that make us gain weight. But you can eat stuff. I just say eat it balanced. You can have a good meal. Just it cannot be all processed foods. Honestly, just make sure it's some green on the plate all the time. Fresh greens.
Okay. Okay. So tell me more about your business, your coaching, your what like tell us more about that. I want to make sure I have some information available in the description for the listeners. So if they want to reach out to you and follow you, they can definitely do that because I feel like you're a wealth of knowledge. And you gave us a lot already. And I truly appreciate that. But tell us a little bit more about your business.
Of course, of course. So I really do it because it's the passion. I want to help people, right? That's number one. I want to help people, especially people that look like me. Like, we didn't know this stuff. Like, when doctors gave me a diagnosis, they were just like, here, take this medicine for life. And I definitely was not going to do that. So I am Anita Monique is the name of my company, and that's what it was founded on. It was founded to help, to give people a voice, to let people know what their options are. I'm not against medicine. I'm against I'm against not giving people the choice to decide if they want to take the medicine or if they want to go natural. My
Mhm.
doctors did not do that. They made it as if I only had one choice, and I had to force my way into the other choice. And that's why I'm Anita Monique exists. Right now, it is I am Anita Monique on all platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Have a little special surprise that I am relaunching. So I am Anita Monique came out just to tell my story, right? But honestly, people are like, who are you, Anita Monique? So I am now branding the autoimmune bully because that is what I am, and I'm very happy about that. So that's going to be something to look forward to in like the summertime. I'm super comfortable now. I'm just like, hey, before it was like, can you do this, Anita? But now, after being diagnosed in 2016 and I never took an MS drug, and look at me now. Now I'm like, okay, I am the bully. So name changes are going to be coming out in the future, but as for now, I am Anita Monique on all platforms.
That is
And
awesome. It's so awesome. I'm
and
so
I would
happy for
love
you.
to, yeah, thank you so much. I would love to reach out if anybody has any questions. And it doesn't just stop with MS, right? It's any autoimmune. Like we were talking about, Jocelyn, it's anything, because the body is just not nourished. So the doctor's gonna think of a name for whatever it is that you're diagnosed with. And I'm there to help you to get your power back. So I would never tell any of my clients to don't go see your doctor. Please go see that man, please, or woman. Please go see them. But I want to journey with you. If you wanted alternatives, I'll help you and show you what your alternatives are.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. So we're going to definitely have that information for the listeners to be able to reach out to you, Anita. I am Anita Monique. I want to thank you so much for coming on my show, sharing so much knowledge, so much information. I definitely learned something, and I hope my listeners have learned something as well. And so I want to thank you yet again. And listeners, be sure to join again next week for another episode of Marie Messages Podcast. Smooches. Hey.